on Coleman. Count on Coleman. If your world is looking strange, you can count on Coleman for change.
Hi, Baton Rouge, and especially District 10. I say welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Carolyn Coleman, Councilwoman here in this great district. And now, today, we are having a conversation that goes right to the heart of Baton Rouge. And when we talk about public safety, reducing crime, curbing violence in our city, the answers are often closer to home than we think. And so true lasting change happens when we stop looking at our youth as problems to be solved and start treating them as the solution. So my guess, and I say I can say that. My guest today has spent over 15 years proving exactly that. And every time I see this gentleman with those young people, it does my heart great because he's true to the mission. And so many talk, but this gentleman walks the walk and is true to the mission. And how do I know? All you have to do is observe the youth, talk to the youth, just watch them, and they truly appreciates the passion that this founder of Front Yard Bikes, Mr. Dustin Lafont, who's the executive director of Front Yard Bikes. Now, we're going to get into why not backyard bikes, why not just bikes, but why front yards bike. And so he's the founder, and we're driving deep into the reality facing our children, the power of grassroots safe spaces, and how a bicycle shop became a sanctuary of hope and still is the sanctuary of hope and workforce development. So, Dustin, I say to you, thank you. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for embracing our young people and showing them the way, and they love and respect you. And I know you've got to know that. And so, let me hush and let me allow Dustin to tell you all about himself and Front Yard Bikes.
Yes, thank you so much. And look, I say it all the time. We are so blessed to do it. We have amazing kids right here in District 10 who are so interested in learning, growing, building, and finding themselves in positions to be the problem solver, to be the one who can look at a challenge and take it on. And that really is a testament to the roots that we have. I am a graduate of LSU. I studied Louisiana history. I really was focused on what's going on with us, our state, what happened during the civil rights movement and era of Louisiana. And to my, really learning, we had so much more to do. So much has been done. And there's so much gratitude to so many people and so many stories who've done good work in the history of our state, in the history of the city of Baton Rouge, and the history of South Baton Rouge.
Yes.
But there's so much to be done. And so when I had one neighbor who just had a simple little problem, I thought, let me be a good, loving neighbor, love my neighbor, as I love myself.
Yes.
Lend a hand. And I wish somebody, who, his parents weren't there to really teach something. I wish I was blessed to have that. Let me teach you just a very simple skill of just fix your bike. I could tell you, I had no idea that he was the one who was going to report to the whole neighborhood. There's a guy over there. He's got a toolbox, and he'll teach you. You got a broke bike, go to his house. Look, I'm going to bring you. Come walk, follow me. And one day you just see, 15 kids looking up, from this yard. Grass is too tall to find the tools. And you're thinking, God, why? What is your plan on this? But that was really foundational, and it's been a wonderful learning experience that young people are hungry for knowledge and opportunity.
That's the word, Dustin. They are hungry. They really are. And we've just got to be in the posture of feeding them, feeding them. And then what I've learned about young people, we feed them, they feed us. So it's an exchange of learning there. And you know, when you said about, well, God, what is this? What is that? So often folk think that your ministry is only in the church. They don't understand that this is bigger, and everybody ought to be walking in a ministry. You know, that great book says, walk in the vocation in which you called. And so you were called to bicycles, you were called to tools, and you were definitely called to children. I can tell you that. Yes, indeed. And so talk about front yard bikes. Why front yard? Why?
Well, that's the only yard we had. It was in the front of the house. Everybody could see us. We couldn't hide anywhere. It was everybody in the whole block, right there. We were on Wyoming Street. I guess I would say now 15 years ago. Everybody kind of could see, so neighbors could all start to chip in and lend a hand and say, oh, I have some old tools, or I have some old bikes. And you just saw the community level energy of it that kind of showed us, okay, there is a strong interest right here in Baton Rouge for this in District 10. So let's try to cultivate this to be better. Let's refine it, and let's get it to where it could be more organized. That took us to a meeting in which we were able to get usage of Terrace Street Park that had been closed. And it's astonishing to us, the history of Terrace Street Park.
Yes.
Why is it closed?
Why?
What would it take to reopen it? They said if we would lease it and be the tenant and just make sure we open it to all kids, that would be a agreeable opportunity. So we took that on to open Terrace Street Park. And the neighborhood responded. We had neighbors come out. They wanted to meet. They wanted to understand what was happening. We let the kids in the program, and young people now, I would say, really inform us what kind of programs would they like. A lot of young kids love the bike mechanics. They love to earn a bike. They love the tools. They love just taking them apart, putting them back together, all those components. We had interest in gardening. Then we saw interest in after-school job opportunities. We saw interest in cooking, what was grown in the garden, and more fabrication, some things using saws and tools, in the construction, and more workforce. So as we kind of followed, the voices and thoughts of our young people on really their hopes and aspirations, we kept refining it until it's the front yard bikes that you see today.
Life-altering calling. Life-altering calling. And so this is, just imagine fixing a bike. Yeah. And then what comes from fixing a bike? Fixing themselves, really, while they are fixing their bike. And then I know that knowing you, there's a lesson being taught as they are fixing bikes and themselves there. So
absolutely. We talk all the time about the things that we're getting to do with our hands are affirmations of the person that you are, right?
Yes.
Here's a bike. It was donated to the shop, and it's broken. There's things wrong with it. Most people would call it, scrap, roadside trash. You took it. You figured out what was wrong with it. You critical thinking. You put it back together. You fixed it, and you made it a vehicle of opportunity to get from your park, your library, your museum, so many places you can access right here in our neighborhood. And that's a vehicle of mobility for you now to be connected. What does that say about you as a young person? Because this bike didn't, fix itself. And while, yes, we were the voice and the teacher, you're the hands. So what kind of person are you? And that begins to get our students to see themselves in the light of who they are as a wonderful asset to our community. They're an amazing resource. And they're not, I guess you would say, solely stuck in a disposition of circumstances and environments going to make me. I'm going to be a part of influencing this environment around me. And we, as leaders, community members, need to surround them. I use the analogy a lot, and forgive me, I say it too much. I say, when you walk sometimes, and we'll walk sometimes in the neighborhood, and we'll see there's a flower growing in a sidewalk. You'll see it growing where it shouldn't be. And it's just amazing. And our young people, to me, feel like that. It's like, wow, look at you. You're amazing. And your environment's not deciding you. You're deciding, I'm going to grow. I'm going to be this wonderful, beautiful thing I know I'm made to be. So it's up to us. I see you. Let me bring your resources. Let me cultivate you. Let me be there to support you as you're growing. And that's our young people. That's our young people. They're absolutely worthwhile. They're absolutely incredible. And as many people come to me and they'll try to say, tell us how you've changed lives. And I'll say, look, I'll tell you how my life's been changed.
Yes,
and
yes.
It's a bigger impact sometimes to me. And that's why I always say, people say, thank you for what you do. And I say, I'm blessed and grateful to do it.
Yes, indeed, for sure. And so here it is, the problem solvers. That's what you have.
Oh, yeah.
The problem solvers. And Dustin, and I don't shun away from the fact of poverty and all of that, but you're not talking about young people, kids that have it all and that maybe have enough or that maybe, but you're talking about that same population of those that they talk about as being poverty stricken, not having this and that in their home, the whole 9 yards, but they find purpose. That's the big deal. And that's what you bring to them. Purpose. And so when a person find the purpose of why they are here, a purpose for life, I'm just reminded of walking in the vocation in which you're called. And so that's what you do. You help these young people find out that I got a purpose here and I can do this. And I'm telling you, y'all, I've seen these young fellas with these bicycles, making them do some stuff that I don't know if I was looking at TV the other night. I said, front yard bike boys and girls, they can do that. So you all don't have anything on them. I'm telling you, and if you've not been on Government Street to see them in some evenings on them wheel, making them do what they do and weave in and out of traffic, and what I do, roll my window down, y'all be careful out here. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Very respectful kids, and I know that they appreciate and truly respect you. And so, is it just males?
Oh, no. I say all the time, some of my girls are my favorite mechanics.
Yes.
You tell them what's wrong, and they just fix what's wrong, whereas the boys try 5 times wrong.
Yes.
And then come ask you for help. And I say it all the time. You ask me the first, they say, I know what I'm doing. Go on ahead. Look, I'm going to let you have that learning experience.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not going to be, look, you let me know when you want the help. But my girls say, this is broken. I'm saying, well, you need this and this fixed. And they say, oh, okay.
Yes.
And then they just do it.
Do it.
And I'm like, man, I need some more girl mechanics over here. I like that. But no, we do have a lot of girls, and obviously they were leaders. We're looking at like our cooking classes from the garden. They enjoy the garden part, but they really wanted to see like, man, well, let's take this and make something good.
Wow.
Some of our girls were kind of leaders in that space. And then the after school jobs that we started to try to provide with students who are growing up in our program, they're the ones who legitimately were just fantastic. I mean, it doesn't, it doesn't probably surprise anybody when you say that.
That's right.
Some of our, high school age, girls in our program, they are so good at kind of leading, shepherding other students, knowing everything that's required to set up a program, to clean up a program. So it's always been great to have those young women and really be advisors to a lot of us too on what it's been sit back and hear and listen. It's been good.
Listen, and that's the great thing about it. And what you're doing, investing in these young people to combat violence.
Oh, yeah.
That's a part of it. That's an arm of it. You know, folk talk about, combating violence. And I just ask, what are you doing? What are you doing with the young people? How are you involved instead of just talking about it? What are you doing in order to combat violence? And definitely, Front Yard Bikes is doing that. You're doing it.
Absolutely. We need our kids to belong to as many opportunities of extracurricular as possible, because that's the motivation. I know that was me. I wasn't great academically, but I wanted to keep playing ball.
Yes.
And you had a certain grade you had to get. So that was like, all right, well, I guess I got to study and make the grade. Well, we see that in big schools, there's, not as many opportunities sometimes in middle school and school. So we just got to keep innovating. And that's what we do in Baton Rouge. That's what we do in District 10 is we can innovate. We can create ways to keep young people plugged in. And when they see decisions that are not for them, that are not good for them, opportunities where something bad could happen, they say, well, I don't want to lose out on this. So you know what? I'm not coming. I won't be there tonight. And you see students turn away from that because there is something to lose of great worth and value. And that's that community, whether it be on a team, whether it be at the shop, wherever the community is, you realize, man, I could lose out on being with that for these things. It's not worth it when I weigh it. And so that's what we're encouraging. We want everybody to be plugged in. A lot of kids come to us for a minute and then go find other great programs to be in, and we celebrate them. We say, get in that program.
Yes.
What we can't have are young people who have nowhere. And that is the great battle, is making sure every kid has a place to plug in, have a community, a circle, a village, somebody around them, multiple mentors, parent figures in their life. And make sure you have that home to say, look, I need someone to talk to. I need someone to be there for me. And the number of conversations coming out while you're just working with tools, and the young people open up and tell you things that you just think, man, this is your safe space. So we got to make those and keep seeing those grow.
Keep seeing them grow. And so they're all in school somewhere.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I'm sure that you keep your thumb on that academic arm that they have.
We go to school every week. We go to our focus schools, McKinley Elementary, Glasgow Middle, Westfield Middle, McKinley High School, and we check in to see who's showing up. We need you to be showing up. You showed up at the shop after school. You showed up ready to play ball.
Yes.
Did you show up ready to be in this institution and succeed? So academic accountability is big. And so, that's what we got to do.
Everything connecting. And so I can't say enough about Front Yard Bikes, people. Let me tell you, and then we going to, move off and on. But these young people built a bike for me. They built a bike for me. The day I rode in the bike, on the bike, everybody talked about the beautiful bike that I had. So I really got a little cocky and put my chest out. And you know how sometimes you just looking at it as a bike and you're just overwhelmed at the fact that these children did this for me. But when other folks say, now that's a fine bike, and so I said, Front Yard Bikes did that. So I say to you out there, that's what they do. They are able to fix bikes and they sell bikes. And so we want you all to know that this is definitely an organization that you all must just get in your hearts and head to support. You don't have to go to Walmart. You don't have to go to these other bike stores. You go to Front Yard Bike and get your bike. So, Dustin, if it's anything else that you want to tell the listening audience, I tell you, have at it. You are really you're doing some great stuff with our young people. I've got a summer program going on right now, and I got summer workers and they're asking why this cannot last the entire summer. So I know that the young people are looking for good stuff. They are looking, and then when they trust you and believe in you, they don't want to let you down at all. And so that's a great thing. I just hope that we could duplicate Dustin out here, y'all.
Well, that's what we're doing at the shop. We got
All
a
right.
lot of, and look, some of the kids at the shop better than me. So they're coming. They're
okay.
growing.
You all heard them. They're growing. So anything you want to say to this listening audience before we exit?
Yes, look, we're always happy to have donations of old bikes. We're always receiving them. It is summer, and we always have challenges feeding all of our students. Snacks are always welcome as a donation. If anybody shows up and they got one extra box of granola bars or of bags of chips, anything, you're always welcome to donate it at Terrace Street Park. Popsicles, obviously. In the
Yes,
heat.
indeed.
But any time of year, fruit, all that stuff is great, and appreciate donations. And then frontyardbikes.com, if you want to connect, learn about us, just go to frontyardbikes.com. We'll try to communicate on what your interests are, or how to donate, or how to volunteer, how to get involved and be at the space working with the young people.
You all heard that. So no excuse here. And if you need a telephone number, tell them the number that they can call, Dustin.
Yes. Our shop line is 225-636-776. We have someone to answer the phone Tuesday to Saturday, 10 to 6, and 10 to 4 on Saturday. 10 to 6 Tuesday to Friday, and 10 to 4 on Saturday. And we have a couple shop locations, so double check the website to make sure you go to the program site for kids, and then the program site that's for retail and sales where our students are working.
You heard it, Baton Rouge. You heard it, District 10. And we have these podcasts so that you can become aware of what's out here in the community. So you have been told some real stuff here this day. And so we thank you for tuning in, and remember, Coleman cares.
Count on Coleman. Count on Coleman. If your world is looking strange, you can count on Coleman for change.